Okay. This video is going to be a video about rare insights. Rare insights I want to share that are interesting and ultimately hard to believe or unbelievable. You'd never really think that an innocent girl would be. And I'm not saying this is okay to torture innocent girls. I'm not saying that. What I'm talking about is this is in a mythological sense. We're talking about like an ancient Troy, back in the day of like when the Trojan War was happening. They would they tortured innocent women, and it happened a lot. Where like lots of groups of innocent women would get tortured, just there was a reason for it, and ultimately, this information is not taught to us in school. So what I'm about to tell you about, is not going. You're not going to know about it because people don't know about this stuff. In fact, most information is that I get is not even in this world. So, anyways, I was wondering once how it could be possible that an innocent person would get tortured, and I actually wondered about that. And I was thinking, I had this thought in my head, and I was thinking, why would Satan torture an innocent person? Like, I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? And I thought to myself that, you know what? I don't think he is torturing an innocent person. I think Satan wouldn't torture an innocent person. And I try to figure it out, and I'm trying to figure it out because I'm trying to understand. And finally, when I'm told that, the answer to that question, I want to share what he had to say. So he told me this. So Satan told me this. He basically talked to me, and he said he was God of this world. And basically, he was also said they don't think so. They don't think I am, but I'm strong. And ultimately, he said I want to share. He said, you're always wondering about why I would hurt an innocent person, why I would torture an innocent person. And he says, the world has no knowledge. The world has no knowledge. They don't know anything. He says, I wouldn't torture anyone that's innocent. But when you torture an innocent person and someone gets tortured, he said, I did it for a reason. And I was like, really? Like, you're telling me there's a reason for it? He's saying, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying if someone's not innocent, just because they appear innocent doesn't mean that they're innocent. They could act innocent, but they're not. And so he said that people will act innocent, they'll appear innocent, and it's truly going to look like it. But he says, I would never torture an innocent person. I would never do it. So I was shocked about that. Because what that meant was he was claiming that anybody that says I tortured an innocent person certainly knew nothing about why I was doing it. So I was like, wow, so you torture people because they deserve it? If they didn't deserve it, I wouldn't torture them. And he says that souls that get in our bodies lifetime after lifetime, he's dealt with them last lifetime, he deals with them again. So basically, he says, I know who they are. I know who people's souls are. So I'm dealing with souls that I know. They live again and again. They live in new bodies over and over. And he says that I torture those souls into behaving. And I also struggle with the divine feminine. And ultimately, she's wrong and she's bad. So I tried to ask him, like, wait a minute, but you're trying to say that you're bad and you're wrong for a reason? For a reason? And I don't think I'm bad and wrong. In fact, I like being bad and wrong then. And I was like, wow. I was like, okay, so you're trying to tell me that you're not. So this is the insights I want to share. Okay, an innocent girl that would get tortured back in the mythological times, she would take the spirit of a dead Minerva. So understand, when Minerva got killed, her goddess body, when it got killed, she had a goddess body, and she was a goddess, and she was real. I understand that there used to be real goddesses walking around, and they were really real. So in our society, we don't see goddesses, and we think that that's like that's mythology, right? So understand that fact that we don't see God everywhere, or we can't find God. Well, look, God's not here. I mean, if God was here, we'd see him. And so what I want to say is people pray to God and they don't see him. Well, that's because he's not here. So I don't know what they're praying to, but ultimately, when you are praying, he can hear you. So God can hear you, but he's not here. And the fact of the matter is when I was trying to find God my whole life, and then I couldn't find him. Well, when I did find him, he'd start talking to me, and it was the bad gods. And basically I was like, whoa, you got to be kidding me. So they just said, well, is anyone else talking to you? And I was like, well, no. Well, he said, well, maybe God will show up and talk to you later. Okay. So I prayed to Jesus and said, please talk to me. And I prayed to all these other gods to please talk to me. And I guess then I was told that I guess they don't want to talk to you. None like you, maybe, or they won't give you any. And I was like, what did I do? What did I do to I'm like trying. Yeah. He's saying, like, if you could find any gods, let's see if you could do it. And I was like, okay, I tried it. And he says, nobody understands anything. Nobody has any spiritual knowledge here. And he says, and I don't teach people. I'm not going to tell you why I punish you. I certainly won't tell you how to fix yourself, because he says, I already know how you are, because he's punishing your soul. So I thought that was unfair. I thought it was very unfair. And I told Satan, when I actually could talk to him, I couldn't believe I'm talking to Satan. Do you know when you're talking to Satan? I mean, I would have talked to Jesus. I was trying to talk to Jesus. I was asking Jesus, Jesus, show up, man, talk to me. But he never showed up. And when Satan showed up and he was talking to me, I said, Satan, well, damn it, I didn't know if I wanted to see you. And he said, oh, well, I know, I was kind of irritated with that. He says, you don't even want to talk to me. I said, I know, but you're kind of aren't you a bad torturing God? He said, well, I am a God, and yeah, I do torture, and I'm bad. I love being bad. He says that I punish everyone. They're all wrong. And I'm like, so you think the world's wrong? He says, I'm punishing everybody, and I'm God, and no one will even recognize me. And I said, wait a minute. So you're saying that Jesus isn't here? He says, because I killed him. That's why he's not here. So I put him on the cross. So where's your Jesus? He's dead. And then he got resurrected, and I sent him up to heaven. So when Jesus got resurrected, he had to go up to heaven. That's what Satan told me. He's not here anymore. If you pray to him, he could hear you, but you can't see him, and he won't be here. And so I'm like, wait, so wow. So I wanted to talk to Jehovah, and I was praying for him. So I said, Jehovah, are you here? And he said, and Satan was sitting next to me. And he said, like, okay, pray. He said, I wanted you to pray to God. Ask God to come. And I was like, okay, help me, God. Are you there? And I was waiting. And Satan said, I'm here. I claim to be God. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy, man. Are you kidding me? And he's like, no, I'm not kidding you. It was mind blowing, because I was like, wait a minute. So Jesus won't talk to me. He says, well, maybe he doesn't want to talk to you. Maybe he don't like you. I'm like, well, that's not good. Like, so he doesn't like me. He's like, well, do you hear him? Try to pray to him. Maybe he doesn't like you, or maybe he's dead and he can't hear you. And I was like, Satan had me do this for a while, right? Because every time I pray to God, Satan would show up. And he'd say, yeah, what do you want? And I'd say, I want to talk to God. And he'd say, I'm right here. And I'd say, wow, are you not even kidding me? And he said, and you don't even like me. He says, you know how much that irritates me? He says, you're making me mad. He said, if I could get my feelings hurt, he said, I would have my feelings hurt right now. He said, you're praying to God. And he said, I showed up and I told you who I am. And you don't like it. And I'm like, I know. I'm irritated. And he said, yeah, you're highly irritated. I just told you I'm God. And you're highly irritated because I showed up to talk to you. And I said, well, wow, that's crazy. He says, how's that for some knowledge? And I was like, wow. Yeah. And ultimately, I'll tell you, having a relationship with a goddess when she's mad at you and you won't give her any recognition, that means the spirit of the woman in you. Well, if you have a strong spirit of the woman in you and she's goddess, if she doesn't like you, you won't like yourself. And understand that I don't like myself because it's her that's doing it. That's what Satan told me. So he told me everything that was going on. He said, you know what? I'm not tempting you to have cigarettes, but I have, and I do. So I'm not going to say I'm not. She wants me to do it. He said, she's the one that wants you dead. And I was like, I couldn't believe that. I was like, are you kidding me? So there's no God here to talk to? And he's like, that's insulting. You know that? He's all, I'd be insulted. He's all, I just came here and told you I was. I'm God. I'm answering your prayer. And you're yeah, I could tell I upset him. I upset him because he's saying, I just shut up, talk to you. I feel insulted. You feel insulted. You don't even want to talk to me. You don't even want to talk to God. And I'm like, well, no, it's not that I didn't want to talk to you. I'm surprised as all hell that if you're God that I didn't know. I'm like, I can't believe it. I'm in shock. Where's God? He says, I'm right here. My name is Satan, or the devil. And the world is not recognizing me. And I thought like, damn, well, if that's true, then that's shocking. He said, it is. He says, why do you think I don't answer your prayers when you're praying? He says, I won't answer anybody's prayers because they're praying to me and they're actually thinking that I'm something that I'm not. Can you imagine if you're praying to God and then there's no answer because Satan says, would you actually be okay if I showed up? You'd be terrified of me. And I was. The first time I saw him, I was terrified. I thought he was going to kill me. In fact, he told me he was killing me. He says he's still killing me, but ultimately it's her. She says, it's all on her. So he told me the truth. He said the reason why he was attacking me and messing with me was because she put him up to it. She didn't want to take the blame for it. She thought she could say Satan did it. And ultimately Satan killed the two gods, Apollo, and killed the god Zeus. Ultimately they died. And then Satan and the devil got to become acting gods of this world while the goddesses ruled. Now the goddesses rule. It's all secret. There's only one goddess. But I mean, we say there's only one God. It's actually only one goddess. Because no one will go near the gods because they're evil gods, and ultimately it's bad. They're bad. But what I'm saying is they're not bad. And so here's what I got to share. Innocent girls getting tortured Why would that happen? And Satan told me that something that I agree, I couldn't believe it. You mean to say that a goddess gets into one of them innocent girls and they actually try to become a goddess? Well, they get empowered like a goddess. If she gets into them, she'll make them feel like they are a invincible goddess, literally like they're on drugs. They'll be so invigoratedly strong, and there'll be the purpose in the world to do it. And ultimately, they will not know what they're doing because she won't tell them anything, and she could. So I'm saying, wait a minute, are you talking to me, Satan? Yes, I am, and you can hear my voice. And yes, but I don't. This doesn't happen to anybody. Understand? People can't talk to God or anyone, and they don't. They don't talk to the goddess, and they don't talk to Minerva. She don't want to talk to you. She'll get in you, and she won't say anything ever, which means that you'll never know what's happening to you, and you'll never even know she's around. But ultimately, she gets an innocent girl. That innocent girl tries to become a goddess that was killed. And the reason why they killed Minerva is because she tried to act, well, she actually was responsible for killing Apollo, the sun god Apollo, and Zeus himself. So she murdered her dad and her brother, and then she was murdered. So basically, how could she be alive if she's dead? Because she used to have an immortal spiritual goddess body, and it got killed off. So she lost her goddess body that was immortal because they killed her, and then her spirit went into one of her high priestesses, women. So the goddess spirit went into a woman who was human, and that's how they let her live on. And then she got in other women, and she can get in all the women, and she can get in men, any man, which means that Minerva is just like Satan. And ultimately, he told me that she's just like me and does everything I do. She goes and possesses you, and she's possessing you. So Satan told me that. He said, do you know you won't let me in, but you've got Minerva. She says she's your mother, and that's all you do is let your mother in, and she wants to kill you, and I want to kill you too. And you know why I would kill you? He said, because you actually won't let me in, and you will have nothing to do with me. You think I'm dirt trash, just like, yeah. So he came to me and told me this, and he said, I'm saying, what's happening to me? What's happening to me? He says, that's not me. He says, I can do it too. I can attack you and possess you and hurt you. But understand, it's not me doing it. I'm telling you it's her. She didn't even tell me that. I was like, wait a minute. So Satan's trying to come to me and tell me that he's not torturing me, but I thought he was. I thought something was happening. I'm like, what is that? He's like, I'm not doing anything to you. He says, I want you to know who's doing it. Who's your enemy? And then he did tell me he was my enemy. So then I was like, wait a minute, you were my enemy? Well, he told me he still is, and he can still kill me anytime he wants. But he's saying, I'm God. I can do whatever I want. And he said that I was torturing you and messing with you because you were being your mother and you wouldn't listen to anything I had to say. In fact, you were actually taught to ignore me like completely like a mother would do it. So ignoring someone is completely like an insult. If you ignore someone, like by the act of ignoring them, it could be insulting and an act of insult in progress. And ultimately, you get offended when people ignore you. But he told me that I wouldn't ignore you, and ultimately she won't acknowledge you. And I was like, wait a minute. So he said, you spent 7 years trying to help her and acknowledge her, but she thinks that you should have no right to be thinking you could represent anything. Like you could be like empowered. She says, no, you can't have any power. So I'm like, whoa. So you didn't do this to me? Well, no, I might have done anything to you, but understand she did it to you. And I'm saying, okay, so you torture innocent girls. He says, if an innocent girl that doesn't even know what she's doing takes the spirit of Minerva into her, Minerva won't tell her nothing. The spirit of Minerva will get into her. It's a goddess. It's an empowered goddess. She's still powerful. She got lots of power. And when she gets into you, you'll feel like you are strong. You'll feel like you got a purpose. You love it. And ultimately, if she picks you out, she'll get in you and she won't tell you. And then she'll do her work. She'll do what she does. And I'm like, what does she do? She's trying to take power back in this world and act like she's not. So she's doing anything she can to become powerful, or she's trying to, be a goddess. So you're going to torture innocent girls. Anybody that Minerva gets into, the spirit of Minerva gets into, if they're going to be Minerva, she'll be herself, which means that if a spirit of Minerva, the goddess, gets into an innocent little girl, she'll turn into Minerva. Even though she did nothing, don't think she's not Minerva. So Satan's saying that if the spirit of the goddess gets into a person, he'll consider it that it's Minerva. He says it is Minerva. I'm not even mistaking it. He says if she's intelligent goddess, she's an entity that's still smart. She knows. She'll get in you and tell you nothing. And when she tells you nothing, he's saying, when I see Minerva, that she's not allowed to become a goddess again, and I will stop her from thinking she could do it. I'll torture her if she thinks she's going to do it. And he says she tries it all the time. She'll do it. And so basically, Satan was telling me that That's why he tortures innocent little girls, because they're trying to be Minerva. But he's saying they are Minerva, and I'm not torturing innocent little girls. I'm torturing Minerva herself, and she'll hop in another body if I what I'm trying to do is get the spirit of Minerva. So I'm saying Satan told me he'll try to torture the girl until she lets go of the spirit, or until Minerva leaves. So what is Satan doing when he tortures little girls? He's being an exorcist priest, and he's torturing the spirit of Minerva out of that girl. It sounds absurd, doesn't it? You'd say, wait a minute, he's hurting that little girl. No, Minerva thinks she can come back and take charge, and he's telling her you cannot. And ultimately, the little girl doesn't know. She doesn't know what she did. She didn't do anything. Why torture girls instead of just stopping Minerva from entering in the first place? Okay, well, that's a good question. You can't really stop Minerva, because not only is she a mom spirit, she's a sister spirit. Certainly she'll get right in you, and if you shake anyone's hand, you'll have her. So ultimately she's accepted. The spirit of Minerva is absolutely a Satan that you'll take and say, oh, I love it, that's mom. And so you won't think it's Satan, you'll think it's mom. And it is mom, it's sister too. So basically she gets in easy, she gets in fast, and Satan says, man, she's a better Satan than I. That Minerva Satan is one of the best. But he says, but the reason why, that she's just like me, but worse. And she's bad. And I'm like, wait, you're trying to tell me that Minerva is the goddess? People have her everywhere? Oh yeah, they're everywhere. But she's pretending like she's good. She'll say she's not bad. And she told me that, or Satan told me that she wants me to talk about things that she wants to know. So she'll make me tell her stuff, and ultimately that's why I'm doing these videos. She also told me that, or Satan also told me that he didn't want me to do these videos, or he wanted me to stop doing these videos, and ultimately then she compels me to do them. So why am I doing these videos about her and it's bad? I understand why, because she's making me do this, and ultimately I want to do it because she's making me do it. So Satan said, do you know that I can make you do things? And I said, like what? Like smoke cigarettes or drink beer? I can make you do it until it kills you. That's how people die. When I kill them, I do it that way. And I'm like, well, wait, that's pretty bad. And he said, but I'm not doing that to you right now. He said, she's doing it. I'm like, so you're telling me that, so wait a minute, you'd be my savior if you're going to tell me. But he says, I'm killing you too, because I'm telling you, stop being your mother and let her take you over like that. You need to tell her, no, she can't get in. Okay. So wait a minute. I'm struggling with my mother. Right. So wait a minute, but I thought I was struggling with Satan and the devil. Well, I'm just telling you that's what's crazy about it is, but look at me. I'm telling you that I do talk to Satan, but wait a minute. Wouldn't you think that I'm all messed up because yeah, look at what I'm doing. Well, look what I'm doing. I'm trying to tell you, Satan says that, yeah, he is everything she says, but he says the reason why he is the way he is he's God, and people would spit in his eye. And yeah, they don't give him any recognition. In fact, what happened is she made him called Satan. Do you know there's the reputation of who Satan is? The goddess did it. He says, I blame her for everything that you think I am. And my reputation, well, it's all on her. So understand, he says, I'm God, and look at what I am to the world. Look what they write about in the book. He said, she ruined me. She did worse than ruin me. She made me a bad entity that's terribly bad. I said, fine, I'll do it. To be bad because she started it. It was her slander. And I'm like, okay, so wait a minute. Why doesn't she have a side in this? And he told me, do you understand she's listening right now? And she could talk too. And I'm trying to, what? And Satan said to me, do you understand that I'm talking to you right now? And I said, yes. You told me who you were. I know who you are, and you're actually talking to me. He said, do you know your mother can hear us right now? She's here, and she would not ever talk. In fact, she knows I'm talking right now, and she can hear both of us, and she will not talk to you, and she will not tell you anything. Even if you were dying for help, she is waiting for you to die so she could put you under her, and she wants you to be a baby, and she doesn't want you to be a grown man with power. That's an insult to her. It would be like she'd be utterly insulted, a grown man with power. She says she wants you dead when you're a grown man with power. She wants you to be a baby so she could be your mom and a goddess over you. And I'm like, that's unfair. He says, it's very unfair because she'll kill you over and over again just to make sure that you can't get above her, because she'll put you under her. That's how she does it. I couldn't believe it. I'm totally up to ending this sentence conflict. Let's do this. Yeah, right. Let's do this. Sounds about right. Well, I'll tell you what. Satan is not stupid. He's mad. So understand that Satan is far from stupid. He's mad, and ultimately he's very mad. He thinks that she's doing this, and he thinks that she has too much control of me. He says that you have to resist her. You can't be her. He says, I'm mad at her and I'm mad at you because you're just her. He says, I want you to fight her. And I'm like, I can't fight her. And he's like, well, then you'll die. And I was like, well, great. So you're going to punish me for the fact that I don't want to fight my mom. He says, well, look, if you can't somehow be realizing she's killing you. And I'm like, well, okay, fine. So she hates me that much. Well, if you can apologize, then maybe she'll forgive you. So I could say, Mom, I'm sorry, Mom. Can you love me and be my mom or sister? And ultimately, I would hope she would say yes. And if she did say yes, then it could happen. So I would probably say, I was told after that I am not able to realize the abilities I have. And I said, well, what are you talking about? He said that you have to know that she's trying to kill you, but the reality is that you're going to forgive her first. And I'm going to forgive her? Yeah. So how can I forgive her? Realize that if you're mad at her for what she's doing, you're just going to have to, you can't be pissed at her. Okay, so what do? You have to realize that she doesn't want to talk to you or have anything to do with you. And because of that, because she can hear you. So he told me, I want you to know that when you talk, she can hear you. And she's actually intelligent. She's in you. So he told me that Minerva's in me. He said, you're being Minerva. He said, I torture her because she gets in women and tries to be a goddess. He said, don't think you could be a goddess. I said, wait a minute. I didn't even know that. But I was told that if I was a goddess, it wouldn't be bad. He said, right. Because if you're trying to play God, that'll even be worse. I'm like, I'm not trying to play God or goddess. I'm saying that what the hell happened? He said, your mother is a goddess. And he said, and you're basically, well, she says you're thinking you could be a god and you're playing like you're a god. And he told me that I had Apollo because I was his high priest. That's just, yeah. So I was like, wow. So I have Apollo. Yeah. You were high priest of Apollo. You have him. So she's mad. She says he can't be a god or he can't be anything. So that means any man that has Apollo, any man that take Apollo, then any man could take Apollo if they have him. And she says that she won't let it happen. She wants to kill every Apollo man in the world, down to the last one. Now let's talk about Ed White on Apollo 1. Ed White on Apollo 1. So ultimately, Ed White on Apollo 1 died in the chamber when they were on the pad practicing procedures for takeoff in a rocket, and one of them big rockets. And Ed White and I think Gus Grissom, I can't remember the name of the other guy, were where they were practicing inside the capsule, and there was pure oxygen in there, and they were running pure oxygen through there, and it caught fire. Well, they all died pretty fast and pretty violently, and I was told that Ed White was why. But I don't know. That's what Satan told me, but it might have been Apollo that told me that. And Apollo said that basically that I can talk to you too. And I thought, I'm the one there. How did I even find out about Apollo? Well, I was told by the devil or Satan. He told me that there was a god Apollo that's in you because 3,000 years ago, you were just a man. You were a high priest called Hellenus or something like that. He said, so understand you're not immortal and you're not a god. And I said, oh, I know that. I wish I was. I'd love to be. But he said, but Apollo's in you because when we killed that god. We said, you can go into your high priest and live with him because you don't have a body anymore and you're not going to get one. That's what the punishment was. He said, so ultimately the god, when he was killed, was not destroyed all the way. And that was ultimately an act of compassion. So understand they gave him an act of compassion. Well, what am I going to say? So I'm the high priest. Yes, you are. Okay, great. So I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me. So I was like, if that's real, if that's true, then I would like that. I would love that. But he said that because you have the dead god Apollo in you, because you were his high priest, he said that the goddess that's still around is saying that God, it should be dead. And why is he alive? And she's saying, you think you could be God and you're trying to be Apollo. And I said, no, I'm not. I said, absolutely not. But I wish I could be. I would love to try it. How do I try it? So I didn't even deny it. Do you think if I could be a god, I wouldn't try it? I'd love it. So what so can I be? Tell me how. She's and all. So you don't have any extra power. You have a dead god in you that can't do anything except maybe be your friend. And he knows a lot. And he's smart and he's really intelligent. Oh wow! So you're telling me so he's still good? He still has all his mental faculties because I told him everything. Everything? Yeah, everything. So wait a minute. So when I die and I got Apollo, what happens to me then? Well, Apollo and you both get erased, and then you go into a baby, and then you're brand new newborn, and I knew who you were this lifetime, and I'll know who you are because I'll be there, and I'm here now. So I'm telling you, Satan, you've been watching me. I've been watching you, and I've killed you many lifetimes. He says, I've killed you many lifetimes when I get tired of you being on her side. He says, if you're going to go on the goddess's side, and I'm sure of it, maybe I'll end you then. And so I'm saying, so you've known me a lot of lifetimes. Yes. So, wow, I thought that was interesting because I'm like, well, do you kill me every time? Not ever. I don't have to kill you all the time. But ultimately, when you're going to listen to her and do what she wants, and she's trying to usurp the power back. Okay, great. So why am I a direct threat to the goddess? Because the dead god Apollo, that when we killed him, his spirit, because we had compassion, we allowed it to go into his high priest so it could live as a human with his high priest. So Apollo wouldn't truly be dead. Ultimately, there was an act of compassion because the god Apollo was special. Everyone loved him, and ultimately, even his enemy gave him. It was like giving him a mercy. Yeah, you're still well. We won't kill you all the way. Ultimately, I don't know how you want to look at it, but being punished with eternal life can be like, yeah, a punishment because he gets erased. So Apollo gets erased whenever his high priest dies, and he goes into a new high priest, and then he's erased. So then Apollo doesn't even know who he is. The high priest won't know he's a high priest, but he'll have that. Neither one of them will know who they are, and they won't even know that they're there. Meaning Apollo won't even be able to distinguish himself between the high priest and himself. They're the same thing in two different things. And so basically, unless Satan goes and tells them what's going on, they'll grow up and completely not even know anything and have no clue who they are or what they are. So basically, he says, if I like you in a lifetime, I'll come tell you who you are if you'll talk to me. But if you won't, then why would I even say anything to you? So I'm like, wait a minute. So you're telling me you're telling me about like who my spirit and who it was in the lifetimes? He says, yeah, I'm telling you who he used to be. I'll tell you past lifetimes. If you want to know, I know them all. And I'm like, well, great. So yeah, I'd love to figure it out. I'd love to learn. And why would gods even be at war and kill each other in the first place? That's a good question. Why would they? Because the feminine collective, the divine feminine collective in Troy, tried to usurp authority from the divine masculine collective, and which was directly under Apollo, and Apollo was the protector of Troy and all the men. And so basically, the women tried to take charge of Troy over the men and make them subservient, and that affected Apollo himself because Apollo was the god over the men, which means when the women tried to make the men subservient who had Apollo felt that and said, whoa, no, the men are in charge and the women aren't going to do that. So Apollo was ultimately killed by the goddesses, and I'll tell you all about it. I could tell you all about it because I was told. Apollo told me what happened to him. And he said that Achilles killed him. You know when Achilles goes to Apollo's temple in the beginning of the Trojan movie, Troy, and he's on the beach, and Eudorus is one of the generals of Achilles. Eudorus says to him, why sack the temple of Apollo? Because the temple of Apollo is on that beach, and the rule is if you go attack a beach or some country, you don't attack a religious temple or the god Apollo's temple. That would be a direct insult. You would just leave it alone. There are high priests and priests in there. There's no warriors in there. So understand the rule was you don't invade a temple. It's a desecration. And so basically, the Greeks wouldn't have touched that temple. They would have went and invaded that island and not even went in there because what's in there but priests and stuff. And so basically, why did Achilles go in there? Because in the movie, when Eudorus said, don't go in there because because Apollo sees everything. And then Achilles chopped off the head of the statue of Apollo. Let me tell you that is an analogical understanding. Well, he actually killed Apollo. The real thing is when Achilles landed on the beach with his 50 myrmidons, the whole Greek fleet was 5 hours out. Apollo got tricked by the goddesses. He was in the temple, the god, And that day they had a bunch of goddesses running up and down the beach. And of course it was rare because the goddesses had groups of women running up and down the beach the day the Greek fleet was coming. And he thought he knew what was going on. They couldn't wait till the Greeks got there because they wanted to get the women in Troy, wanted Troy to be sacked. So understand that the women in Troy were not trying to defend Troy and hide in there. They were thinking that we're slaves and we can't even be in charge. And you should probably sack this place and kill us all. But ultimately they didn't want to die. So the women were happy that they were going to be usurped. So Apollo knew that too. So these women in groups were running up and down the beach that day. And so Apollo had a rare event. He was in his temple and he noticed there's all these goddesses. There were women with the goddesses. There were high priestesses. It was a rare thing because they were running up and down, and all around his temple, there was goddesses running up and down the beach that day. And he thought he doesn't read minds. The God couldn't read your mind. So understand that a God couldn't read your mind. You'd think like God could read my mind, right? I assume that. No, I can't. I can't read your mind unless you speak in it. But the reality is if you don't say anything, I won't know what it is. So how could I read it? So you can talk in your head, but you have to actually do it. And ultimately there's not really, I don't know what you're actually, if you're thinking, I might know, but if you're not thinking, I won't know if you're not thinking, I won't know. And I was surprised at that because I was thinking, wow, I thought you could read minds. And no, we can't read your mind, but I'll bet you we could feel your feelings so good that we'll know when you're lying. And ultimately the God's pretty good about, I thought, wow, I didn't even know what a God was. You mean he's not that powerful? No, he's got a lot of power. But when it comes to actually finding if someone's honest or not, God doesn't test us because he knows we're honest, or he doesn't know if we're honest or not because he doesn't know how to read our mind. He doesn't know what we're going to do, so he tests us. So understand that God can't tell what you're really going to do or your real intention is. Even God doesn't know. And so the goddesses were running up and down that beach, and Apollo was in his temple, the god, and he thought that they were happy and celebrating and couldn't wait, and they were excited, and he was ultimately thinking it's absurd. These women are so happy. They're running up and down the beach. And so Achilles was on his way sneaking in, and Achilles was a demigoddess, not a demigod. So understand that in the mythology, they tell you Achilles is a demigod, or he's a legend. He certainly is not a demigod. His dad was just a regular man. Achilles, his mother was a full-fledged goddess named Thetis. He also was dipped in the river Styx and made partly immortal, which means Achilles was just a man who was actually a demigoddess who was partly immortal. So Achilles was demigoddess. And if you know this, understand that Achilles was certainly not a demigod energy, which meant that Apollo, seeing Achilles, would think he's a goddess. And he certainly knew his mother was a goddess because he knew Thetis. So understand that if a goddess and Achilles came around you, you would feel a feminine presence coming. If Achilles walked up to you, it would be a goddess walking up to you, I promise. And it wouldn't be any masculine. So ultimately, because he's a man, it might be acting masculine. But let me tell you that the trick that they did to trick Apollo to kill him was they actually had goddesses that had all that running up and down the beach. So they were all over the place. Goddess energy, women were running around his temple. He was like, yeah, they're celebrating because the Greek fleet's coming to attack this place. And basically that was a cover, because when Achilles came to the beach with his Myrmidons, he came up, sneaked in fast, he hit the beach, and ultimately the Myrmidons stayed on the ship. It's not like in the movie at all. There was no battle because Achilles himself landed and basically no one was even there. People didn't even know. They completely surprised everybody. Achilles ran towards the temple. He bolted at high speed amongst all these running women that were running all around the temple all that day. So he looked like a goddess coming in towards Apollo, and he ran towards the temple to attack it. And he was singular by himself, and he was running towards the temple. So Achilles attacked the temple and ran into it, and Apollo, the god, was in there, and he saw Achilles coming. He thought it was one of them goddesses running up and down the beach, because they were running everywhere all day long, and he stopped looking at them. He's like, yeah, that's irritating. So that was a trick, because he thought they were irritating him. Apollo said, I don't want to see these women goddesses so celebrating that Troy's going to get attacked. He was saying those women are running around my temple all day long, and they're mocking me. So Apollo was kind of pissed off. He had no idea that Achilles was Achilles. And when Achilles hit that beach, he ran right to him, and Apollo saw him running, and there was goddess women running up and down all around. He thought that it was one of them, and he did not have any idea Achilles actually was coming. He was probably watching him coming, thinking it was one of them. He thought it was a woman. And when Achilles entered the temple to kill Apollo, he came in fast. And he knew right where he was, man, because he was told by his mother. Basically, Apollo saw him come into the temple, thought it was a high priestess, maybe, because he was looking at him in an energy, and he couldn't see him like in a camera. He didn't have cameras. Achilles was a demigoddess coming in, and Apollo knew there's a demigoddess coming in, and he was wondering who she is. And ultimately, it was Achilles. And he came right in there and ran right into the room, and Apollo, the sun god, was sure that he was going to see a woman running in. He thought there was a demigoddess. She's running to me. And ultimately, Achilles came running at him, shot. Yeah, right in the room. Achilles beheaded Apollo, the actual sun god, and killed him. And he took his head for a prize. And so understand in the movie and in the myth, they tell you, well, they don't tell you that. So certainly, they even say supposedly Apollo lived after that. But understand, if he lived after getting beheaded, I don't think so. Ultimately, the whole story about him plaguing and everything, Apollo was pretty much removed from the first day of the War of Troy. Apollo's presence was removed from the beach. He was removed. They removed his presence, his everything. That's right. Even God doesn't know our hearts and intentions. And he certainly could feel our feelings, which means he'll know what we're feeling. But understand, he told me that what he's feeling from me is her. And he says he hates me because he hates her. And he says that you are her. And I was like, whoa, you're trying to blame me for being her, and that's why you hate me? He says, well, I wouldn't hate you if you actually could be man enough to push her away. You push me away. In fact, you won't let me in. I can't even come in. And she's actually in, and she's killing you. And I thought, well, you got to be kidding me. How is she killing me? Because you let her in, and she's in, and she won't talk to you, and you're bothered by it. And you've been bothered by it. In fact, you can't understand why she would be with you and actually stay with you all the time, but never help you, never tell you a thing. And then he said, do you know that she makes you feel like not taking a shower? And I was like, whoa. And so this is how I knew. So I take a shower every day or whenever. I take a shower frequently. I understand I do, but what I have a trouble is I won't want to take a shower. I won't want to get in. And I'll make myself get in, and I'll struggle sometimes because I clean myself up, but I sometimes don't want to take a shower for some reason, even though I do. And it's a struggle. And I wonder why. And I would wonder, I don't mind cleaning my body. And I'd be like, in fact, I'd get irritated with myself because I'd say, why in the hell do I have such a problem? And I'm like, I need to take a shower. What the hell's wrong with me? And ultimately I did that a lot. So I want you to know that Satan helped me a lot. He did. And understand why, because he helped me understand so many things. You know what he told me? He said, you don't even want to take a shower. I'm like, well, that's true. I don't want to take a shower a lot. I struggled with that my whole life. Do you know why you don't want to take a shower? No, I have no idea. If I wish I could know. He said, it's because she makes you so you won't feel like it. She wants you to be dirty, and she will try to make you so you don't change your clothes either. And I'm like, whoa, but I do change my clothes. I don't even care sometimes. That's her. She'll make it so you're not even presenting yourself. You don't even care about your own body. And I'm like, so what are you trying to say that like she also does that when I don't want to brush my teeth? She make it so you won't brush your teeth. She'll say, don't brush your teeth. You don't even need to do it. And she said, he said, do you know what she does to you? She says, don't take your vitamins, because I struggle sometimes when I take my vitamins. And understand, when I got my vitamins in front of me in my coat, I got to grab my vitamins and I got to get them in a pocket. And it's kind of like not a hassle, but maybe a little bit, because I got to like get them out of a pocket. And so I'll think about getting my vitamins, and I'll think I want to take my vitamins. Now I need to, I actually do. And then suddenly I won't do it, and I won't do it. And I'll think about it, and I'll say, man, and then I'll go and I'll start to get disturbed. I'll say, you know what? Something's wrong with me, because I didn't take my vitamins today or yesterday, but I could just reach for them and take them. And I'm saying I need to take my vitamins every day. But you know what? I would continually not do it, and I would continually get disturbed and say, but I need to do it. And I'm the one that didn't do it. And I would say, what's wrong with me, man? For some reason, I'm saying I need to take my vitamins, and then I actually won't do it. And Satan says, that's her. She's saying, no, don't take your vitamins. They might help you. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. What if it's you doing it actually? And it's not her. And he said, that's what I'm telling you, is I wouldn't show up and tell you this, because I'm telling you I'm mad at her because it's actually that you're not even doing anything wrong. And he said, and if I tortured you, I would, but I torture you because you are doing something wrong. And he says, you know what you're doing wrong? You're being her. And I was like, it's not wrong to me. And that's why she tortured me, is because I wouldn't be her. So she's saying, you've got to be me. And I'm saying, okay, but are we going to have a relationship? She doesn't even tell me. So what Satan was telling me is that the problem is I can't have a relationship with her if she's not going to even have one with me. But she's here, and she's utterly not participating with me. She won't even talk to me. And I'm thinking, what good is she here with me if she's actually not, she's like absolutely ignoring me. She ignores me on purpose, and she won't acknowledge my presence. I'm saying, what, Mom, if you're going to be here, why, and you're going to ignore me utterly and just not even, I talk to you, but you won't talk back to me. And Satan said, you know what? You do talk to her, and she hears you, and she won't talk back to you, and that hurts your feelings. And he says, you know, when you feel disturbed sometimes for no reason, I'm like, it happens a lot. I get disturbed for no reason, and I can't figure out why I'm so disturbed. He says, well, I couldn't stop not to tell you that it's her, because you're begging her to say something, and she's telling you you're a dirtbag or you're stupid, and I want you to know she tells you that. She tells you in your heart you're not worth shit. You're dumb. And I'm like, well, he says, you can't, you're only feeling it. He says, that's what you're feeling, is you're disturbed because your mother is literally belittling you. And I'm saying, she's saying you're doing it. Oh yeah, she blames it on me. But I'm talking to you, telling you that it's not me. Is she here telling you that it is? She won't come. So what I'm saying is, it wasn't like that. Like, yeah, that's not really the truth, what I just said, because understand, Satan didn't have a need to come talk to me. It wasn't like he wanted to come save me. It's just that he did save me, because I was going to kill myself if this kept going on. I didn't even understand anything. And I felt disturbed. I'm always disturbed and thinking, what's going on, man? I need to understand something. And, well, eventually Satan's the one that came, taught me everything. And I couldn't believe it. And he said, you don't even like me. You won't let me in. You hate me. In fact, I hate you. But I would like you, but it's really, I hate her. You're not even yourself. You're her. And he says, why can't you be a man and stand up and get rid of her? Tell her back. And I'm like, what? You're telling me I'm not a man? He's saying, you're a mother, mommy boy. And he's like, can't you be a soldier and stand up and be strong? And I'm like, oh, I can. But how come I can't? Because your mother said, sit down, and you better not think so. So he told me that my mother was saying, don't think you can stand up and be strong. You're a Satan if you do it. And Satan said, she told me that all the time. And so I was afraid to be strong because I didn't want to be Satan. Do you understand that my mother told me in my head, the spirit of the goddess told me in my head, and Satan, when he finally told me this, he said, I want you to know, when she talks to you, you can only feel what she's saying, because you can't hear it. You won't hear what she's saying. You'll feel it, and it'll be a feeling that you kind of know what it is. He says, you will know what she's saying, but you will not be able to tell it. You won't know, but you'll know. So she's talking to you and to your heart. She can do it. She can talk straight to your heart without you even knowing what she's saying, but you'll feel everything. And he says, what she does is not right. It's not right at all. She says that it's my fault. I'm doing it. And she says that if I can't stand up because Satan will kill me, and ultimately, I better be weak and stay down. And ultimately, I'm saying, no, I'm going to fight then. I'm going to fight somebody, and so I want to fight Satan, right? Well, ultimately, if I fight Satan, he says, you were fighting me. So when Satan came to me, he's attacking the shit out of me, hurting me, beating me up, throwing me around. He was terrorizing me. The first time I ever saw Satan, I actually knew he was with me. He was terrorizing me and threatened to kill me. And he said that it was my time, and I was going to die right then. So the first time I actually saw him, he said, it's your time and you're going to die. He was telling me you're going to die. And he was attacking me. I was all, Yeah, you get all disturbed when he attacks you. You get an emotional disturbance in you. It feels like an attack, a spiritual attack, and you get all panicked and anxious, and you'll be all freaking out, man. But when it happened, he told me what was happening. He said, it's me, and I'm killing you. And I was scared. I was like, what the hell, man? I'm going to die. You're going to die today. He said, you're dead. And I was like, oh shit, so I'm like, why are you so mad at me? And ultimately he talked to me while he was threatening to kill me. He said, and why he was killing me? And he's telling me all about it. He's telling me everything I did and why I deserve it. And I was like, wow, Rick, so what is it? Well, you're the high priest of Apollo. And your mother says Apollo can't be a god and think he could be a god. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'm not trying to be a god. He says, but you've got Apollo in you. The dead god is in you. And you used to be a high priest of his 3,000 years ago. You were a high priest of Apollo. And when they murdered Apollo, they let the god's spirit go into his high priest. And it was a compassionate gesture saying that we're not going to destroy the god utterly, totally. We're going to take his god immortal body away and make him human and make him just a regular guy. And then you don't even know. Because when the high priest wouldn't even know, when Apollo came into the high priest, well, the high priest was not Apollo. He was a high priest. It was a man. And that's what I am. I'm just a man. But ultimately, when Apollo got into that line of high priests, every time, how does the god Apollo live when he's dead? He lives on in the line of high priests. He could also get out of that line and go to anyone he wants. So Apollo, the sun god, is limited to be living inside of a line of priests that take his spirit. So Apollo is actually like possessing you in some fashion and existing with you as a human. And he's really smart. So Apollo knows. He knows stuff. He certainly knows history. But wait a minute. There's something you need to know. if Apollo knows anything and he's smart, it's because the devil told him. So how does Apollo know who he is when he was erased and killed? Well, that's the thing. Every time he dies in a priest's body, he forgets everything. So when the next priest he's in, he won't even know he's Apollo. So Apollo will grow up and not even know what he is either. And so the devil and Satan will go to Apollo, and they know who he is because they're gods. They don't die ever. And so they'll go to Apollo when he's like a kid growing up, and they'll say, did you know that you used to be Apollo? And he'll say, no, I didn't know. Like, if they want to tell him, they could talk to him. And so if he's good and he's actually not rejecting the gods, if the actual Apollo doesn't reject Satan and the devil, well, everybody does, and maybe Apollo does. In fact, they killed him. Why wouldn't he reject him? He hated him. Ultimately, they said, if he doesn't hate us because now we're gods and he's dead, well, he gets to live. He's in his high priest. At least we didn't kill him all the way. And then he's saying, like, well, we're gonna deal with him. And basically, yeah, if he's nice, we'll tell him what's going on. And ultimately, Apollo could tell the priest. So what happens is the devil or Satan, when they like Apollo because he's being a good Apollo and he doesn't know who he is, they'll tell him, not the priest. They won't tell the high priest anything. So understand, the high priest is never going to know any of this. They'll go to Apollo that's in the high priest. And that means that the Apollo's spirit that's in the high priest, it's a man. Well, when the devil talks to Apollo, the man won't know anything because the spirit of Apollo is separate from the man in his head, which means there are two entities in that one man's head. And so that man doesn't know. Apollo won't even know. And then the devil and Satan will go to Apollo and say, you know who you are. We're going to tell you who you are so you can remember. And ultimately, they'll have a huge conversation that lasts over a year or two or three. If they like Apollo, they'll tell him everything. And ultimately, they won't even hate him. And maybe they'll be his friend, but they'll leave the priest right out of it. So understand, the priest won't even know anything. But see, now that Apollo starts remembering stuff, because the devil and Satan are saying, since you didn't reject us, and so, yeah, we killed your ass 3,000 years ago, and now we're gods. But the thing is you're dead. And now, they'll tell him that. And he'll be like, are you kidding? This man used to be a high priest. Well, he still is. Okay, so wait a minute. So this Apollo god and spirit in the high priest's head, who doesn't know anything because the high priest doesn't hear anything. He's not a witness to any of this. It's a partition in his mind. And in the partition is Apollo, the sun god, and it's only him. So when the devil and Satan visit with Apollo and tell him everything, Apollo now knows everything that he did when he was a god, pretty much, because they told him whatever they know. So he pretty much knows a lot, and he's happy. So Apollo's going, wow, because I remember everything now. And ultimately, then he can decide to talk to his high priest if he wants to. But the thing is the devil and Satan didn't want Apollo to talk to his high priest because they said that no, you won't talk to the high priest and tell him anything until it's okay with us, because then they wanted to test the high priest to see if the high priest would accept them. So the high priest, who didn't know any of this, well, he was approached by Satan and the devil, and they claimed to be gods, and they were going to tell him, they were going to let Apollo, who was in him, talk to him and tell him, like, hey, it's me, I'm in here, and he could say anything he wants. In other words, with the permission of the devil or Satan, if they like the high priest, if they approve, well, they're going to definitely scrutinize the high priest. What are they going to know? Well, the devil's going to come to the high priest, maybe in secret, maybe like, I'm going to test you, or do you know who I am? The high priest will be all, well, who are you? So in other words, if that high priest rejects the devil or Satan, like, get back, Satan, how dare you? I'm a high priest of an old, I don't know, get back. Well, understand, if he does that, they're going to tell him nothing. And if let's say that high priest is like an ardent Christian or something, get back, Satan, back. You know what? I feel sorry for him because, man, he probably wants to know who he used to be. They'll tell him nothing. In fact, that's it, man. You reject us. You say back. That's it. It's over. And that's death. That's death to me. Wait a minute. Are you kidding me? That high priest is a man who doesn't even know who he is. He's saying, I need to know things. Where's God? Well, understand that Apollo that's in him, the God, is not allowed to talk to him. And you know what happens? They'll kill him if he does talk to him. So they say to Apollo, if you talk to the high priest and even let him know you're there, then we'll kill him. And then you'll be erased again. So why does Apollo want to keep the high priest alive? Because if Apollo gets told, because Apollo didn't reject Satan and the devil, and they go tell him everything, like who he was, he'll love it. In fact, Apollo will consider it a great blessing because he'll at least get to live in a sense that he's like they brought him back, and he'll remember everything, but he can't do much. And he can't even talk to the high priest. He's not allowed to. And if he talks to him, then that means he'll be killed with the high priest when he gets killed, because they'll say, we'll erase you again for doing it. And so Apollo spent a long time with that high priest. He wasn't allowed to talk to him. And that high priest was trying to find his God. and was praying to God, help me. And Apollo felt bad. I can't say anything to you or they'll kill you. Okay, right. So then he didn't know that. But so then, wait a minute. So when the devil and Satan came to that high priest to test him and see, what do you want? Hey, we're talking to you, high priest. This is the devil. Oh my God, are you really the devil? Yes, I am. I'm God of this world. You understand? Like he had to be tested, and ultimately, what they were going to say, like, if he reproves of us, if we come to him and he's not going to reject us and say die, then we'll actually say, okay, we got something for you. Would you take it? Are you willing to take it? So basically, they tried it. Satan came to him and said, hey, whatever. Or somebody came to him, or they were there. The devil's talking to him. And the high priest said, are you the devil? I'm God. He said, whoa, I was trying to find God for a long time. You're God? Yes, I am. Well, damn, I didn't find any other one. I've been praying. I'm dying and killing myself. I've been praying. God, help me. Where are you? And the high priest had been praying to God, trying to find God. He was so disturbed. He was like, I need to find God. I can't find God anywhere. And then here comes the devil and actually talking to him. And he thought, holy crap, you're real. I hear you. You're the devil? Yes, I am. Oh my God, that's kind of like not that disappointing, but I thought I could talk to like a God that's not you. Well, am I going to get in trouble for you being God? Well, I am God. How can you get in trouble for that? Who's going to punish you? I'm the God. I was like, wait a minute. Whoa, it's not funny really, but understand if the devil or Satan came to that high priest and they said, Matt, he doesn't, he's trying to find God. If he finds God, he won't have a problem. He's saying that, yeah, God is whoever he is. They were saying, you know what? If we are God, well, he'd accept it. He wouldn't say, God, you can't be the devil or Satan. I prayed to God and you showed up. Well, we heard your prayer. And yes, we did hear your prayer. Didn't you pray like you want to find God? And you said you were disturbed and you said, God, I want to see you and witness you. And I don't care what, I need to have you and see you. And I can't just not see you. Well, I know, but okay, thank you. So I'd say thanks to the devil. I felt the high priest said, oh my God, you know that I'm so honored that God showed up and actually is here. It happens to be the devil. I didn't know, but I don't know what to do now because I'm praying to God and the devil says, you've been praying all day. I heard you the whole time. You begged me to come. Here I am. Okay, I know, but I'm okay with it. I said, because you know what? I'm really disturbed though. And he said, that's her. She won't accept me. Okay, but I'd accept you, but she doesn't like it at all. I'm feeling like I just did something really bad. Oh my God. Well, oh yeah, the world will say that, like, how dare you acknowledge your God? You don't even know who he is. And I'm talking to you. You know that? And I said, I can hear you. Thank you. So understand that the relationship I had with the devil and Satan when they came was real. And I could hear them. And it wasn't just a fake thing in my mind. I was saying, wow, you're the one that heard my prayer. Well, we're the God. Yes, we did hear your prayer and we did answer it. Okay, great. So I'm okay with that. I said, you know what? I feel so bad right now. Like I should be punished. But you know what? I'm going to get over it because I'm going to tell her that, you know what, if Satan and the devil were God and I was praying and they showed up to answer my prayer, don't tell me that I was praying to God. I didn't know it was them. So understand that if there's no other God that showed up to answer my prayer, how come they didn't show up? Well, who heard your prayer? Well, you're saying you did. We did hear it. We are God. Okay, but wait a minute, but you can't be God. Well, you can't be God. Ultimately, you can't. Well, we are. Are you going to accept that we are? Well, yeah, I am. I do. Okay, so, but the world's going to say that, how dare you find God and accept him? I'm saying, I know, that's disturbing. You're going to think I'm a Satanist or a devil worshiper. Well, aren't you? No, I'm not worshiping you. Well, you don't have to. I didn't say you did. I'm not going to worship anything. I don't worship God. I want God to be my guide, but that's not worshiping him. You don't have to worship me. But you have to accept me and acknowledge me. I do. Thank you for coming and answering my prayer. You know why I came to answer your prayer? No, I don't, but I was freaking out. I was going to die if you didn't come. Well, probably, yeah, but you know why I came here? Because, well, I wanted to tell you. Yeah. Okay, well, I accept you. I don't care what the world wants. The world doesn't like you because they're going to call you a devil worshiping Satanist. I'm not a devil worshiping Satanist. I'm a priest of Apollo. No, you don't know that. Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't know that. I didn't tell you that. Okay, wait. That's right. You got to tell me that first. So, yeah, the devil would come to that high priest and he'd say, you know who you used to be 3,000 years ago? No, you used to be a high priest of a god named Apollo. I did? Yeah, and you were an awesome, loyal high priest, a good high priest, dedicated to your God. Yeah, really? And when they murdered that god, he got to come into you so he could live on in humans, but his immortal body was murdered, killed off. So you got him. He's in your head. You know that? I got Apollo in my head. Yes, you do. In a partition in your mind, he's in there. Oh, really? It's hard to believe, man. Don't tell me that. Well, ultimately, I'll tell you what's real about it. You know, Satan could attack you and make you hurt. And he did. He attacked me and made me hurt. I was thinking I'm going to die. You know what? I'm telling you, when a Satan attacks you, you will feel like you're going to die. And you'll be like, oh my God, I'm going to die. And he was doing that to me. And when he was talking to me and I was going, oh my God, I'm going to die. And he's like, you know what I'm doing to you right now? I'm attacking you. And I said, why are you doing that? He says, I'm stopped now. He said, I just wanted you to show you what I could do. I was like, oh my God, you just did it. And it stopped. And I thought right when he said it stopped. So he said, I just stopped. And I felt it stop. And I said, whoa, it just stopped. He said, I did that. I was like, you're powerful. Damn. I'm scared of you, man. And he was like, wow, you should be. And I knew it. So understand what I knew, what I was aware of is that he attacked me many times. And when he attacks you, it is terrifying. And I was basically like, well, but he attacked me and said, you know what you're doing now? And I feel it. Yeah, I do. You attacking me again. I'm killing you right now. Why were you killing me? Well, stop killing me. Well, then maybe he'd say, well, I don't like you to be like your mother and you're against me. And I was like, okay, fine. So obviously you're talking to me, then give me a chance. Hero message to Satan and all gods. Get over here now. We're having a talk. We need much to discuss. We're going to fix this stupid conflict. Yes, I like it.
There too?
So I like it.
Are they going over there too?
We're going to fix it.
The Yahoo's been that way. No, I didn't see him.
So we're going to fix it. And how we're going to fix it? Well, yeah, I'm going to tell you that I can't be a part of society, because if I'm a part of society, then I'll go into a collective of people that are not me. And ultimately, if I become them, then I'll have to stop being whatever I am now. And I didn't even know any of this, but Satan said, you can't be a part of society because who you are is a high priest of a dead God. And he's being punished. And the only way he's going to get to exist is in a man. And I'm like, okay, great. So you're telling me I'm some high priest. Yeah. And Apollo's in you. Right. Okay. So fine. And I want to tell you that he can't talk to you because I'll kill you if he speaks anything, says anything. I'm trying to say, you got to be kidding me. You're telling me that there's a God in me and he's not allowed to talk to me. If he talks to you, I'll kill you as a punishment. That's why I told him, if you say anything to him, I will kill that man and you'll be erased and you'll come back in a new one. And so Apollo can't talk to you and he's disturbed about that. So you feel disturbance. It's also Apollo in you. He's not allowed to talk to you. And I was feeling good. Suddenly I was feeling good. Well, maybe. So I thought, well, what are you telling me? That you're going to give him permission to talk to me? Yes, I am. And I'm also telling you that it's okay to realize that I'm telling you who you used to be and who you are. And I was like, well, that's crazy. You're actually Satan for real. I'm not kidding you. You want me to attack you for a minute? Yeah. Can you attack me? And well, I'm just saying that's kind of an example of how I could believe him. Understand that when Satan attacks you, it's like an attack that you feel, and then you will be afraid. So ultimately, when he was doing that, he was telling me, do you feel that? And ultimately, that's me killing you. And I'd say, damn, I feel like I'm dying. Yep, because it's me doing it. And I'm like, oh my God, stop it. And then he did stop it, but ultimately sometimes he leave it on for a long time. And I would get like, Satan, please stop, man. You're killing me. I am killing you. And what for? Because your mother, she's trying to be, because she's wrong. Minerva can't get into you and be a goddess and rule the world. She's trying to get into you and rule the world. You're not Minerva. Okay, well, right. So then what's the problem? Well, because she hates Apollo. She's saying Apollo has to die. He's already dead. And he can't be anybody in this world. I'm Minerva, and I'll take that man's body. So Minerva must have been fighting. She was fighting to take control, but Satan said she already has control. I'm a goddess, man. I do whatever she wants. I'm a slave. She says she doesn't care about me. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. So she's ultimately, there's a problem here. He says, yeah, huge problem. Because he says, I want Apollo to start talking to you, and I'm going to give permission to say something. So then Satan said that to me. I didn't even know. And then ultimately, he was helping me talk to Apollo suddenly. He says, Apollo says, and then I'm like, well, and Apollo is in my head suddenly talking to me. And he has like, so he sounds like a girl. I understand Apollo sounds like a woman. He's not a man. He sounds like a woman. So I'm like, wait a minute, this is Apollo? Yes, it is. It's a woman. Can you hear the feminine voice? And I'm like, well, yeah, you sound like a girl. It's Apollo, the god who's a man. And I'm like, wait a minute. So, okay, that's interesting. It's like the dead that's a woman. I'm doing it on purpose because I'm a singularity. And I said, a singularity? Yeah, he says a singularity is a masculine power and it's empowered, but he's not empowered. He said that he has to talk to me and it sounds like a girl, because if it sounds like a guy, they'll try to kill me saying I'm some singular God or think I can be, or playing God or thinks he could be God. But I understand that that's what he said. He said if he didn't talk to me as a girl's voice, then that's ultimately he couldn't talk to me at all. It had to be a girl's voice. Is that the law that she commanded? Yes. So what happened is the goddess had to agree, maybe somewhat. I don't know. Did she have to agree? No. Okay. That's it. He told me don't say anymore. So I'm not going to talk. Now, understand that what I just said, I believe Apollo wants Minerva to know this. That we love her, and ultimately she's mad because she can't be, because she was killed and murdered, and that didn't scare her. So she's not afraid of death. She was a goddess and she was fearless. She's still fearless and she's not afraid of death. So understand that death doesn't scare her. And that's partly why Satan really has a problem with her, and is that he can't scare her. See, Satan says, I don't have to torture anyone. I'll just scare the shit out of you and you'll do what I tell you. And then I don't have to torture you at all. And ultimately, if you won't do what I say, then I'll just torture the hell out of you. I don't even need to scare you. You don't get. So when he punishes Minerva, he knows she's not going to get scared. He knows she's fearless. So he's not trying to scare her at all. He just attacks her and tries to hurt her. So what's he done? He'll hurt me and attack me. And he says, you got her. I want her gone. And if you can't get rid of her, and I'm like, wait a minute, but I can't get rid of her because if I do, then my genetics will make me sick. He says, no, you're getting sick because you got her, not because you need to keep her. Is that right? Holy crap. So could be Apollo saying that. See, I don't know if Apollo's talking to me, Satan's talking to me, devil's talking to me, whatever it is. I do know they're all talking to me, and I could tell. But I think Apollo and Satan both said something mixed in my head when they're talking. I could, because I hear a girl's voice is the Apollo, and then Satan is like, it's kind of a raspy, empowered. It sounds like a god that's almost could be alien in nature, like an alien kind of voice, deep but scary, kind of foreboding, scary, powerful, strong. And Minerva, we need to talk to Minerva. He says, tell Minerva who she is. Okay. Minerva, this is what Apollo was telling me, and why I'm so excited to be Apollo. Apollo tells me stuff that blows my mind. I'm thinking, how did I know that? The devil says that that we're allowing Apollo to tell you that stuff so that you can be a man on earth who's not even allowed inside society, and at least you could kind of be happy because you're so miserable because you can't even talk. Your God's not even allowed to talk to you, and you know that. Do you understand that we said we'd kill you if he spoke one word to you, and we meant it? And I was like, I felt so destroyed by that. I didn't even know what that was. You're telling me my God is not allowed to talk to me? Not ever. In fact, punishable by death, and it's your death. Okay, fine. Well, he did talk to me. Don't kill me now. Well, ultimately, yes. So what I learned was I was very grateful, and I'm very grateful to both the devil and Satan. I couldn't help it. Are you telling me you're giving permission for Apollo to talk to me? And he started talking to me. I was excited, and I'm saying that I've only done this like a month or so, or not even a couple of days. This is going on. It's brand new because I never knew that I had Apollo or any of this. And so I'm saying that this is crazy as you can believe it. And I'm saying like what I do about it. Well, ultimately when the world on the collective is doing what they're doing, I want to tell Minerva, you need to listen to me. You need to listen to me, Minerva. Is you're upset and your feelings are very angry, but they're very powerful, and so you could instill a kind of punishing mentality on people. You're using some kind of you're a powerful goddess. But the other thing is you get in any woman and use her body. You don't have your own body, Minerva. See, guess where Apollo sticks to? He sticks to one body. Or if he's in someone else, Apollo's not in everybody, I don't think, is he? No. So it's possible Apollo's not in anyone because he's in me. That's it. But he could be in everyone. The thing is if you took Apollo, you'd have to let him get in you, and ultimately it could be a copy. Yes, but Apollo is not allowed to be a god in this world, which means that The goddess says that Apollo can't come out anywhere. Maybe she said that right? No, she did not say that. Satan said, you may come out and play. So who's saving me and who's my savior? Well, come on, people. Do you think I'm lying about any of this stuff? I'm not. Who's my savior? I'm telling you who my savior is. I'm doing it on camera right in front of everybody. You know why? Because maybe he's saying, if I save you, and then don't tell me anybody's going to ever hear you say when you get successful, if you have a life or anything happens to you that's good and you're rich and you're powerful and popular again, I don't want you telling anyone that Jesus saved you. That would anger me beyond anything. He says, you know what? If you say God, Jehovah saved you, well, he would if he could, maybe he wants to. But the thing is he wouldn't and he didn't. And so don't think you got saved by any good God or any great. You didn't. You got saved by me, and I'm a bad God. And he says, but I'm good. I like myself. So I'm like, wait a minute. So he's telling me, yeah, you better give me credit. If you got the guts. And I'm saying, well, I do got the guts, because understand, if this is all real, then I wish there could have, I'm sorry that, you know what? I'm ashamed that I wish that it would have been Jesus that did this. And Satan said, my feelings are hurt that I come to you and help you. And then you're thinking, why is Satan helping me, man? If it was Jesus, it would be so much better. He says, no, it wouldn't. No, you're just ashamed because you're being judged by the collective of women that are saying, how dare you talk to Satan? You are bad. You're a worship and you should be dead. So ultimately, understand that people want to kill people for being devil worshippers. They would kill people just for being Satanists. And so understand, because I make this video, there's people that would decide that they say that man should die. And ultimately, Satan says, if anyone thinks that, I'll kill him. So what I'm saying is that he said, don't you worry, because if there's one person that wants to play around here and think this is not real, well, I will make an example of them. And I said, okay, great. So I got to trust that you're really for real. Well, he said, if this is a joke and it's not real, he says, then you're crazy. And he said, if it's real, don't be afraid. He says, because if I'm Satan, do you know what I can do? And I said, well, yes, I do. He said, well, I'm the one, I'm God. He says, there's nobody in this world that's going to dare screw with you unless I find out about it when they try it. And I was like, okay, so basically, yeah. So you're going to protect me? Well, maybe I'll kill you. Okay, great. That's the answer. You're going to protect me? No, maybe I'll kill you. Okay, great. That's not very good. You know what I mean? You know, like that's the kind of attitude he has. He doesn't take shit. He's through with anyone's bullshit, and he's going to like do what he wants, and he's going to punish people. He's going to punish me maybe for this video or talking, but understand that I think he's let me do it. Why? Because understand that the goddess is making me do this, he says. And he says that he's told me, do not say too much about a lot of this stuff. And Apollo in me, he's letting it happen because he doesn't want, he doesn't want me to do it. So I can tell. And so I'm thinking, damn, maybe I shouldn't be doing it. But Apollo's saying, Dennis, we need to do this because Minerva has to know. She needs to know that and that's the next video, but understand, if Minerva calms down and quits attacking me like the devil and blaming it on the devil, that's what they're telling me, literally. So I'm claiming that Minerva's attacking me and telling me in my head that it's the devil and Satan attacking me. And they said they did. And Satan said that especially she's right, because we're attacking you, but we're not going to attack you anymore. And they told me that, but we're mad at Minerva because she wants to actually finish you off and kill you. And you're being a good high priest and you're absolutely not deserving to die, but she's killing you anyways because she doesn't care. And so we stopped killing you, and we're telling her now she better stop, but she won't. She wants to finish you off. And I was like, are you kidding me? I can't believe this is not true. Well, then don't believe it. I don't care what you do. I was like, whoa. So then what do I do? How do I help myself? Well, you can let them know what's going on, and it doesn't matter what they think. But basically, then I'm telling you that I'm being attacked by a goddess, and and Satan and the devil are the ones that are saving me, because basically, who else is going to do it? And they don't like her because she's trying to be God, and she'll try to kill them because she'll say you're devil worship and boo. Understand that they murder devil worshippers if they think they should die. They're Satanists that they would kill. Understand that the devil says that well, I'm powerful, and you know what? Nobody's going to kill me. I'll be killing you. So ultimately, the devil doesn't care. But Satan's pissed, and he does care, because he's saying, you know what? They're going to, they might try to kill you ass, but you know what? It's not going to happen, because I'll kill their ass. If it's real, if this is really me, And I'm like, wow, okay, I'm going to believe it. I'll make myself believe it because I need your protection. And then what is this going to serve? Well, he says that, well, you're going to say too much because you already did. Doesn't matter. And then, yeah, it does matter. What does it serve? Well, Minerva's going to see this. She's the one who's killing people and trying to hurt them. And then she's saying the devil's doing it. And the whole world believes that it's actually the devil and Satan doing it. And well, they said they did do it because they actually were doing it with her. So yeah, she's not even wrong. So just know that she's worse off. She's worse than them. And then I'm saying that, you know what? I can't survive now. I'm not going to live because guess what? I can't live with the devil and Satan. And it's not even that I won't because they're gods. I'm not going to be able to live with them. I'm just a man, but they're gods. And so maybe I get treated right. Maybe Satan and the devil said, look, we're not going to try to kill you anymore. If she stops killing you, because if you don't die, then you got to do something. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Well, you've got to tell them what's going on. The goddess is doing this. It's her fault. Don't blame the devil or Satan because actually they're helping me and they've told me every good thing. I have much gratitude and Satan's been killing me a lot. So don't tell me I don't know that. I hope he stops. He's saying, I'm trying to show you that we're going to kill you if you don't stop being her. I'm like, but wait a minute. So I'm guilty for being her? Yes. Well, but they're saying if you stop being her, if you can push her out, then you'll live. And then we'll say, good job. You survived. And I'm saying, great. So I have to fight her. Well, if you do fight her and you push her out, then you'll be in disposition and you may die of cancer or be unhealthy. You mean losing the goddess could cause cancer or be unhealthy? It could also cause cancer because she's trying to, because you have her. So wait a minute. I don't understand. So because I have her, it causes it. If you're in disposition and she's making you feel as disturbed as I do right now, and it's happening daily all the time, your body genetically will have a problem. And it will have a problem that it will be a problem eventually. And it takes a while. But understand that this conflict can't go on in me, they said. So they've told me recently that I can't have a conflict and have it keep going on because my body won't take it. So I'm like, okay, then I'm going to tell people what they need to know. And it's that if we're going to attack Minerva and take her down, well, that's not going to happen if the problem's solved. Because if you take Minerva down, well, she can't be taken down. She's just going to live on in another innocent girl and be empowered again. You kill the innocent girl here, and then Minerva jumps in another one and says, ha, I got another body. So she's bad. She's as good or more powerful than Satan, and she certainly does more possessing of everything, and she's better at it. If you thought Satan does anything, look at Minerva, man. She's doing it. She's in every girl, switching bodies all the time. She gets in different ones. She's always empowering herself. She don't care if those girls die. She's got another one to hop into, and that's also why they'll try to hurt her, because they'll say that Minerva doesn't care about protecting your body. If she gets in you, she'll just use your body and use you, and then ultimately it's what she'll say Satan's doing to you. So he's getting the blame. It's not fair. And ultimately, he says, well, yeah, and I might do it to you. So just know that just because she's telling the truth doesn't mean that she's not worse, and even way worse. She is, because she hides the stuff, and Satan will admit what he's doing. She actually hides it all and says she's not doing it. So how do we fix this? Apollo, how do we fix this? It's not going to be fixed in this video or right now. You have to know she's very disturbed. And now if you're listening to me, then listen to me. Minerva is very disturbed. She doesn't know anything. She's not aware of who she is or what's going on. And her mind is full of strong, violent emotions she's trying to suppress and control and get rid of. And she doesn't know what they are, but she doesn't know how to understand. And she's highly upset at men who are in charge because she says all men who are in charge are the devil. And she's probably right, because the devil says mostly all men are in charge. So then I'm going to point out that the devil is claiming that anybody that's powerful in spirit and strong is probably him. And he's not bad at all. In fact, you don't even know who he is. So the devil claimed to say that that understand that I'm in everybody, and just the strong ones especially, and they're not having any problem, and neither am I. So they don't even know that they don't know that it's me. They certainly love using me, and they definitely think I'm strong because I'm the strongest. So the devil says that people don't even know what they got, or when they got them, they love it. They love it when they got the devil, and they'll take them, and in fact, they'll need them. So he's saying they love me so much because I will be the most powerful entity in your head that will be the badass, and in the battlefield, it'll be me that is the kick-ass soldier, elite. So the devil says I'm just the best of the best, and people know this. And people know this when they got me. They need me. They love me. So the devil's just claiming that. I'm saying that doesn't make sense. I thought if they knew who you were, they wouldn't like you. Well, no, that's probably true if they actually knew who I was. But if they got rid of me, their strength would go, and they'd say, well, that was weird. The devil left, and so did my strength. Well, he says to don't worry about it. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. So wait a minute. I thought Satan was hurting people. Well, Satan is not. When we talk about the devil, we're not talking about Satan. Satan's his brother. Okay, so Satan's the one that's disturbed heavily. Yeah, Satan's the one who's mad at her and disturbed heavily, and he's not that disturbed. He said, "I will take her face." That's what he says. I'll take her face. I'll destroy her. I will remind her of what she thinks she's trying to do. So, okay, so ask Apollo, though, if it's okay. Let me talk to Apollo. If Minerva realizes that she needs to be loving and be accepting and be okay with not having the power right now, because in a sense she already has it, but she's in what's called disposition to not allowed to have it. So why is Minerva not allowed to have the power? Because Satan, the devil, will punish her the moment she takes it and attack her, but mostly Satan. Maybe not the devil. The devil's not really doing it. He's doing good things in this world, and ultimately Satan will be the damaging force that punishes the most. The devil might punish too and kill you, but ultimately they've been killing me all week, and they've saying that the goddess is not going to stop. So they're telling me they're going to stop killing me, and I want you to know, for days they've been killing me. And they've been telling me they're killing me, and Satan was attacking me, and he was telling me, like, do you feel it? And ultimately I'm like, yeah, and why are you doing it? And he's like, I want you to know what's going on. And I was like, this is scary, man. I'm saying I feel like I'm gonna die, and I'm feeling like literally like I'm like atomically I'm falling apart. He says, you are. I was like, holy shit. I'm so how do I live? He says, well, we're gonna stop attacking you and understand that she's gonna keep attacking you because she insists you must die. And we're saying that you're learning your lessons and you don't need to actually die, but you're going to die anyways, and you'll be back. She wants you to be a baby and under her. So she's saying that if you get enough spiritual power that actually, like, you're happy in this world, it will offend the goddess directly. How dare you are a man that has more power than me, and you think you can stand up like some Apollo god? Well, I'm not going to think I'm God. Well, that's what she's going to accuse me of. Well, I'm the high priest, and supposedly he's with me. And why is he only in you? Because he didn't get anyone else yet. He's not allowed to. If he tries it, you'll punish him. So Apollo can't go around possessing anyone, and certainly he won't even try to do it because she'll punish anyone that Apollo gets in to help or whatever. Yeah, she don't take Apollo. No. Like, yeah, she's in everyone. She's the one who's the leader. Satan says that she's the one in everybody, and I got people too. But she's got a majority of more people than me. The whole system of our government, you know what I was told? The whole system of our government trust her a lot because of things I have said in the past. And they didn't give me any recognition for it. They certainly stole all my ideas. And they also didn't even acknowledge that any of them were true. But some of them wanted to imply that much of what I'm sharing is a bunch of BS. And when Apollo talked to me, he said, I want you to know how lucky you are. And I also feel so bad for you that they have utterly just disappointed. They have disappointed me, and I'm being punished too. So he said, like, I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. I'm not punishing anyone. I'm being punished. But he says, I'm happy though. At least I'm happy with you. So he likes me. And he says that at least I can take care of you, and you're my high priest. I remember who you are. So I'm like, so you remember me? Yeah, I remember you 3,000 years ago, and I was your God, but now I'm just in your head and punished with you, living with you. We both die together in this life when you die. And then we'll both be back next life, and I won't remember nothing. You won't remember nothing. And then we'll grow up, and if we're nice to Satan and the devil, and what do you think the chances of that are? So what are you saying, that we're not going to be told anything whatsoever unless we actually accept Satan and the devil? Well, I'm telling you, that's kind of like something to know. If they're our gods, you will know nothing. And certainly they're not going to teach you anything. Do you think they're going to tell you anything? about who you, anything you want to know. You think they're not going to talk to you at all. In fact, I'm saying that's not fair. It's really not fair. But let me tell you this is not fair either. The fact that what happens when I come back in the next life, and I think that because everyone's telling me Satan's so bad, and he says, well, don't think I'm not. I'm worse than you know. Okay, great. So then I'm going to know it's true. I won't even talk to you next life. I'll say, get back, Satan. Get away from me, you devil. And then you know what he said? If you do, I'll tell you nothing. I won't tell you anything about anything. I won't tell you everything you want to know, and you're dying to know it. And I thought, oh my God, I'm desperate to know it. I'm feeling dead without knowing it. How am I gonna be okay with the fact that the chances that you're gonna ever know anything that you really want to know in this life, the secrets of the universe, whatever he's gonna tell you that comforts your heart and soul and makes you go, okay, maybe I could handle it, man. Well, he's saying, well, I don't tell anybody nothing, and they all are inside. They're all dying, and they're all being killed, and they're all gonna pay for it. Everyone's being killed. So how am I gonna know in my next life that you're actually somebody I need to accept to even get any information about anything? Because, well, how will I know? Well, tell me then. I don't hear no answer. How will I know? Paulo, how will I know? He says he'll be allowed to tell me. So wait a minute. Apollo will be allowed to tell me, which means Apollo will be not erased. Is that right? Yes. Okay, Apollo. So Apollo, all right, I'm telling that, he just said it. Apollo won't be erased, but when I die, I'll be erased. So when I grow up in the next body, Apollo will be with me, and he'll know everything, and I'll be a baby, and he'll teach me right from birth, and he'll have the knowledge of a God in my head. That's pretty awesome. In fact, I didn't even know that. So wait a minute, that's pretty awesome. So wait, if you're watching this, you've got some kind of chance. And then I want to tell you, if you're watching this, you've got some kind of chance. If you're hearing this, some kind of chance for sure. Because understand, if you've actually got no chance, you might be watching this too. And it's like you're either watching this because you got no chance or because you got some chance. And if you are allowed to have a God in your head when you're born, and he's in a partition, and he's fully knowledgeable, but he has no power to do anything but talk to you. So he could actually talk in your head and you'll hear him, because he is an entity that's in a partition that's in your brain. So it's in an actual partition in a spot. And he's in there, and he'll be in there when you're born, and he'll be having the full knowledge of God, but you won't know anything. And then when you're just a little baby, he'll be able to talk to you, and he'll tell you like, hey, little buddy, how you doing? And he'll be talking in your head. He is you, and you'll have him, and he's your God. He's with you. Can you imagine when you're starting out as a little child, and you've got a full-fledged knowledgeable God in your head, and although you're not him, you won't know what he's thinking. We only hear what he says, because he's in a separate partition. So wait, that's awesome. That means that he can tell me stuff and anything. Well, whatever God tells him, he can tell him. So Apollo's not allowed to tell me anything. He'll be knowing it because he's happy, but he won't tell me anything he's not supposed to tell me. They'll say you can tell him this and you can tell him that. So the devil and Satan will tell Apollo, you can share whatever we allow you to share with them, and here it is. They'll give him a list. So Apollo will have a list from the devil and Satan, and he'll be saying, this is what I can tell you. And ultimately, it'll be everything I want to know. That's awesome. So what I'm saying is I'll say thank you to the devil and Satan for that. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, that I'm saying thank you for letting me have my memory back of some kind of knowledge so I don't freaking die just out of despair. And thank you for telling me all this, because I would rather be dead than live in a life where I don't even know what the hell's going on. When I got some freaking God in my head, and you can't even talk to me, or I'll die, or I'll be killed. Can you believe that? That's what was disturbing me. They told me that you were very disturbed because of that, because he couldn't talk to you. He's not allowed. That's it. And okay, I can't think of anything else.
Possibly.
I'm thinking about ending the stream, and unless something else comes to mind. Okay, yep. Tell them
Did you just get what dropped off?
that you're a good person
That was weird. That
with
car, huh?
a good heart,
No, we aren't.
and
Not real at all.
don't have
I said that car.
the words for the intentions that she is confusing me and she is thwarting my, but she throws disturbing feelings in my face when I'm doing these videos. I was told that she wants me to look bad and she's trying to make, she tells me to say things and I say whatever she wants. She'll tell me to say things I'm not supposed to say or I shouldn't say, or that made me sound stupid. And she did so much that I couldn't believe it. And when I was told you're a fool, you'll say anything, and she makes you say stuff that makes you look stupid. What are you doing? I was like, I'm trying to do what I'm supposed to do. And hey, what's up? Yeah, go ahead, man.
So what are you doing?
I'm on a live stream on YouTube.
YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. How many followers you got?
Hmm?
How many people are watching?
Only 2 right now.
Only 2 right now?
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
But hopefully the video is getting to where it needs to go, getting shared. There's actually one person that's watching this video. I don't know if she's a moderator. It's a woman, and she's got the goddess in her, and she's shut me down too. She's censoring the videos, and they're not allowed to go to a lot of the public area because she's trying to punish me. She's trying to punish me. She thinks that she says Apollo shouldn't be able to even communicate to the public, and I'm sharing these for sure. Okay. Well, that's what I was told. Now, look, I'm not trying to be wrong or bad. What I'm saying is that you've got Minerva, the goddess, in you, and you're judgmental because Apollo's in me, and ultimately you think that he shouldn't be able to. That if I think I'm thinking I'm a god and I'm special. Well, ultimately, women will think that I think I'm some god because I've got Apollo, and ultimately, I do got Apollo. So he's in my head. So am I God? No, but God's in my head. I got him. I'm a high priest, and ultimately, that means that that you're either going to approve of me, and ultimately, Satan's saying that you could threaten them and tell them I'm going to kill them all if they don't freaking take care of you, and I'm saying, well, that's probably not going to happen. So understand that Apollo says no, you're not going to touch her. Because ultimately, Apollo won't let it happen, right? Yeah, Apollo says, no, Satan's not going to do anything to you. Understand that unless he really wants to, and he's not. Apollo says if he can't fix it the right way, if it has to be that she needs to accept that Apollo is not going to do anything wrong or bad to her. Like she doesn't like him. She's thinking that this man shouldn't be heard, shouldn't be seen. They can be male. Solus, eunuchs. Let's see. Solus eunuchs. I never heard of eunuchs.
What does that mean?
EUNICHS. Eunuchs? Oh, those are the ones that don't have testicles. Yeah. Yeah, they're both male and female. So understand. I mean, with all due respect, I don't. You're stalkers. So tell me how what you got. Oh, you're stalkers. Understand that I've got to get along with my stalkers because guess what? The devil and Satan said all your enemies and people that hate you. Well, if they're not coming from me, because I sent them over there to attack your ass, and if it wasn't me attacking you, then it was then they'll attack you. And so I'm being attacked by from Satan, the devil. Not anymore. They're just going to stop doing it. They're trying to help me now, and they're saying that we've got to get that goddess to know what she's doing, so she stops being so angry and trying to be stopping me from being able to do anything, because she's just mad from 3,000 years ago. Apollo says, what can we do? I can apologize to you and say I'm sorry, and I can mean it, and I'm not going to say buts because I would, and I do. But the reality is that Apollo says you can't feel sorry. I don't want you feeling like you're bad or wrong because you're not. So they won't let me be in any kind of apologetic kind of mind, or they want me to be strong, and they want me to be the devil if I have to. And they're saying if you have to turn into Satan, do it. They're saying those are the two most powerful entities, and it doesn't matter what the world thinks because they're God. Ultimately, I'm trying to say if that's true, then I'm the only one in the world recognizing the real gods. Well, they're saying that's true. You're the only one recognizing the real gods in this whole world. Isn't that scary? Isn't that scary?
Yeah.
If it was scary, and I was saying, well, yeah, I'm like, God, if Satan and the devil are not God, can you come here right now and say bullshit? And there's nobody coming, meaning when I pray, when Satan shows up and says, what do you want? I'm saying, well, I want you to be my friend and not killing me. I want you to be my friend, not torturing me. Well, then why don't you give me some recognition and and say I don't deserve to die. They say that Satan should die. People say that Satan thing. So he says that hurts my feelings. The fact that people would say that to me. And so it's her. And so he says I have to. He says I have to be apologizing to her. Okay, I'm sorry that I counted you out 3,000 years ago. I counted you out. I counted you out because I thought that you were being wrong, and you wouldn't share information. That's why you wouldn't share the information. I was mad at you because you were withholding information and not sharing it, and so I counted you out, and that started every bad contention. So what can I do? You said you did it. I did it already. It's done. And your enemies are not your enemies. They're who attacked your ass because either she sent them or it's either her. But understand, I think I'm being told it's her. So do you understand that I get privileged with getting attacked by the best? I don't get to get attacked by just anybody. I get attacked by the elite forces of the elite. The best of the best attack me, and the strongest attack me. I get attacked by Satan and the devil and shit. Like if you get attacked by a demon, that's pretty cool. But there's lots of demons, but you don't get attacked by Satan and the devil unless you do. That's pretty special. It's kind of like if you got John Travolta coming up to your house. Like what if like Brad Pitt showed up right now and on my door, Brad Pitt showed up right now and said, "Hey, Dennis," I'd be like, "Whoa, Brad Pitt, woo!" What if Tom Cruise came right over here? Tom Cruise came over here and said, "Dennis, you want to fly in a jet with me today?" Okay, sure, I'd love to, man, and I trust you because I believe you're that good. So the reality is, what's the chance of Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise coming over right now? Well, I don't know. Should I feel that great about the devil and Satan? I'm trying to tell you, if you've got two entities that are real and they're not fake, and they're not going to kill you, and they even told you that. So I'm saying if they don't, then why would I be scared? So understand that I'm saying when the movie stars of Hollywood come over here, I'm saying I'm trying to look at them like that. You understand how crazy that is? Well, I'm saying that it is not crazy. It's a fact that Satan saved me. He saved me because he said that you've done a lot of stupid things. In fact, you're so stupid that you don't even know what a big fool you are. And I'm like, well, I know, but I feel even stupider. No one's even helping me. Well, he told me that she's not going to do it. She won't do it. And you need to tell her that you need to help me, mom, sister, because I would love you. And you're so mad at me, you won't even give me a chance. So she's saying that you need to tell her that. You need to give me a chance. And if you don't, I'm saying the whole world's going to go down. I'm thinking that's what I feel like. At least my world's going down. And so he's saying, yeah, and it ain't going to be fair that she's going to end you like that. Well, I don't know. I'm going to try not to let it happen. So I've got to fight Satan and the devil to death now because it's ultimately going to be on her. I mean, she's the one disturbing me. If she didn't want to hurt me and kill me, I wouldn't be trying to struggle so bad. And ultimately, they're saying, see, the problem is the world hates the devil and Satan and doesn't think that they have any kind of any charge or domain. And they don't know the devil or Satan. And understand that if you think you know who Satan is and the devil is, you certainly do not. You have no idea except what you've been told. And I want you to know that what they are, and I'll tell you from what I know so far, is I'll tell you that I think the devil's a lot nicer than Satan by far, and I think I was more scared of him than Satan at first. But I think the devil has become kind of like an Uncle Bob. To me, he's become like an Uncle Bob. He's actually kind of nice, and he doesn't hurt me. Well, he might hurt me, but damn it, but I don't know. Maybe, yeah, he's saying sometimes he says, I'm Uncle Bob, and maybe I'm not very nice to you, and maybe I might be hurting you, but ultimately I didn't kill you, so don't worry. And I'm like, well, if that's you kind of an Uncle Bob that might say, boy, I'm going to slap you upside your head. And then he might do it. And then I'm like, damn. So the devil's a power that says like, don't piss me off and don't screw with me. And so he's also nice. And Uncle Bob's kind of nice. And he'll be like, as long as you're not rejecting me and thinking of me as some dirt dog devil and I should die, and you're not thinking my devil worshiper should die, and you're not judging people that would actually talk to me. Well, he's saying, yeah, I get really mad when people are being so stupid when I'm the God of this world and you won't even acknowledge me. I get mad. And I kill people for that every day that won't do it. That actually refuse to acknowledge me, they die for it. So I'm like, okay, so you're telling me the problem in this world is that we are utterly rejecting God. and then following a dead idol. So by following a dead idol, you're worshiping something that's not living, a living spirit. It might be a rock or something. He's saying whatever the certain religions, whatever they're worshiping, if there's a living spirit in there that they're worshiping, if it's real, then at least they're worshiping a real spirit. But if they're worshiping a rock that has no spirit, understand that only the collective is their God. So understand that a collective of people are in a group. There's a spiritual collective, they call it. It's a mental collective. And they're all together in it, in a feeling. The feelings could be strong, and if your collective is strong, you would all feel competently strong together. And the collective is a strong feeling of the participation of many people in it. It's all the people feelings all together in it and combined, whatever it makes. It's strong. And ultimately, if you've got a collective of religious people, the spiritual collective is all the people together, and that sometimes becomes their God. All the people together, they're actually worshiping the collective of all the group is their God. And understanding that a collective could be a God is well, it's not a God. It's actually a group of spirits that are people in a group as one. It becomes the feeling and the essence of the substance, which means that if you're worshiping a collective, you're worshiping yourself in your group. So if you're worshiping a God, actually, it's an actual entity. And if you're worshiping a goddess, it's an actual entity that's consciously knowing what's going on. It's a living entity. And the gods and goddesses are all dead, which means they've all been killed off and gone, except for there might be like one god with the body. I don't know where he is, because understand that I don't even know if there is one, but the god that's actually, they're all alive still, but they don't have bodies anymore that were from the goddess. Actually, she doesn't have bodies. She gets in everybody. She'll hop in one body, hop in the next. She's trying to get in women, and she'll pick a woman out she likes, and that woman will be lucky. You'd say she's lucky. So if you're the woman moderator watching this, and if you are, understand that a woman moderator watching this, well, I'm surprised if you're a man, but if you're a man, I think I can sense the goddess in you. But that you might be Minerva, actually, because understand, whoever's monitoring me so badly that makes me upset that I think you're hiding my videos or you won't let them come out. It doesn't make me that upset, because I've been told about it, so I'm perfectly aware, and I know who's doing it. It's her. And I'm saying, like, what can I do to get you to accept me and acknowledge that you're the one that's doing this to me, that she wants me to talk. They just left the chat. Oh, did they? Who did? Who left the chat? If you don't mind, please tell me, because I would like to know. And ultimately, I suppose I could ask Satan, but he'd say he's talking about those moderators. Is that right? We don't want to participate in a fight with anybody. And ultimately, someone else is watching. It said 2 watchers. Okay. We don't want to. So I don't know if this is a man that I'm watching, but that's watching now. But anyways, whoever's the moderator that keeps my videos from getting out, that was on purpose. And ultimately, I was told, Satan told me that he did that, he made that, but ultimately it was her. It was the goddess that's doing that. So she doesn't want anything I say to be heard by anybody, but she wants me to tell her everything. So understand what I'm doing is trying to have some kind of interaction with her, and I'm doing it in this video sense. I'm trying to talk to her or tell her stuff, because she doesn't talk to me. So since she won't speak to me, I speak to her. So that's why I'm told that I do these videos all the time. It's just that they're saying I'm trying to visit with her, because she's already in my head. She won't say one word. So she's also watching me in some other body sometimes. And I'm trying to tell her like something, like I know who you are, and I've been told all about you, and I don't think you know who you are, but in fact, I'm told you don't have no idea who you are, but you're emotionally acting out. You're emotionally acting out your feelings. So if Minerva gets in a woman and she pops in, that woman will feel, it will be Minerva, and understand that woman won't know, but she'll feel pretty, whatever Minerva's feeling like, she'll feel like it. She'll suddenly have a purpose. So like women who have no purpose, if it's a woman that has a purpose and she gets up and she's doing something, she has this mission to accomplish, it'll be Minerva every time, because Minerva is a spirit that gets in you, a goddess spirit that she is getting in you for a reason, to have a purpose. And the purpose is, it makes a woman suddenly feel like she's important and she's got a reason to live. And she'll take Minerva and absolutely be like, yeah, this is great. Like, I got a reason. She'll do whatever she wants. I was told that if you get cancer, or if you get sick, or if you have some problem, it's usually that you're in a struggle emotionally with the spirit of the goddess. She's making you upset, or if it's me, it could be me too. So if you're being like disturbed for a long time, it could cause problems. And
Oh shit! I can't put it.
I'm not too worried, because I'm pretty sure Apollo tells me I'll be fine. So I understand Apollo tells me that I'm fine. Yeah, he says, well, it's not even funny. He says that don't worry, because you're going to be fine, but you need to tell her that if she's disturbed, she's not going to be fine, because it might be that maybe I'll be okay, but you won't. So I'm supposed to say that I can't be disturbed all the time. I can't have all these disturbing feelings. It'll fuck me up for sure. But Paul says, no, it won't. You'll be fine. You'll be the Alamo at the but I am not allowed to attack her. I'm not supposed to fight her. I'm supposed to love her and be her friend. It's just that she doesn't want to be my friend, and she hates me, I'm told. There's not really much I can do. Well, I'm told that I can try to tell her that. I even if I can get away, even if I dodge a bullet, I want you to know that if I dodged a bullet, I wouldn't want you to even have to try to dodge a bullet. So the reality is that I wouldn't even expect you to have to dodge a bullet. But I'm saying I would never tell you that I can dodge bullets, but you can't, because Apollo says if maybe it's really that Apollo can dodge bullets and I can't. And then I'd be like, wow. So he's saying, but you don't want to be telling him like you know how to dodge bullets, because you don't. And I'm like, well, okay, so but you do. And he's like, right. So if you dodge a bullet, it's because I can do it. And I'm like, well, okay. But then he's like, you better tell him that maybe I can help them dodge bullets. But the reality is you can't act like you can be okay in what you're doing. I can't. Yeah, I'm like, but I'm not okay. Well, then you better tell him that I can't be struggling with her. She needs to stop struggling with me. Because if she keeps doing it, I'm going to keep doing it. And I'm saying that we can't keep doing it. We got to stop. Am I possessed by Minerva? You may be. In fact, I thought you were. Let me see. Yes, he is. Did you say he? Yes. Yeah, I get possessed by her all the time. And I don't know why you said he, but are you a he or a she? She could possess guys or girls. I can't tell a lot, but Apollo says that. What does Apollo say? If it's a he, it could be a she. If it's a she, it could be a he. And that's just because of the spirit's mix. You can get in you. Well, I don't know what else I should say. Is there anything else? I wanted to tell her that she needs to calm down and relax and quit being so aggressive and mad, because the fact is we're not allowed to rule, Minerva. We are not allowed to be thinking we can be gods or do what we're doing. We're being punished. And if you hop in different bodies and you're doing a hop in different bodies, so Minerva's not too worried, because she just says, well, I could just get another body. If this one dies, I'll get another one. I'll cruise around getting all these bodies, and she's in charge wherever she gets to. But ultimately, Apollo's not getting any bodies, because he doesn't go around possessing people whatsoever. He stays in one. And I'm told that I'm the one he's got. He says, yes, it's me. And I'm not going in anyone else. He could, but he's not. It's just because there's not going to be a religion of Apollo again, right? No. That's sad. I mean, ultimately, but it's not that sad. I suppose it's not my world anymore, right? No, it's not. Isn't that interesting? It is not. Basically, that's what I'm being told by God. No, it's not my world. So good. Yeah, it's not. If my feelings get hurt somewhat a little bit because I'm like, great, man. So it's better to be thinking I'm important enough that even though Apollo, well, I'm lucky to have Apollo as a high priest, man. That's pretty cool. I love Apollo. I wanted to save his life. And he's saying, well, that's why I loved you and want to save your life. And so Paul's saying, don't worry, but you got to tell them that you can't do what I'm doing. It's not very like getting disturbed all the time and making disturbances. Like I'm supposed to be happy doing these videos. When I do these videos, I talk about like stuff that's really, it's disturbing stuff, but I get too disturbed, and even though it's okay because I'm trying to just do my job and I like to feel the feelings, and I'm told that I need to learn how to be more in control and everything, and then I'm told that she won't let me do these videos and be okay. So when I'm disturbed or kind of like having a problem a little bit when I'm doing these videos, I'm told it's her. She's saying like she's screwing with me. She's saying, yeah, I don't want you to have confidence and be in control. She's saying she's messing with me, and I just think it's so unfair. I get mad about it. And they say that, well, that's what she wants. She wants you to be disturbed and mad. So you reject her. And I'm like, wait a minute. So why is she doing that? Because she's mad at you and she thinks that you can't think you can be in control. She doesn't want you to have any control. She wants you to be a baby and she'll be your mother. She says you grew up too quick. You're going to be a man. And if you think you got Apollo there, well, now you really pissed me off. She says, Apollo can't be above me. He needs to be dead and be a baby again, and then I'll love him because I'm his mother. I don't want to be your mother. Minerva, I don't want you being my mother. I want Mary to be my mother next time. And I'll tell you what, I don't think you are my mother. I think that's what I'm saying. But ultimately, if you are my mother, well, I would accept you if I didn't have a choice. But I think you're too like hateful. I think you're too, you hate me. And ultimately, why would I want to have a mom that hates me? It feels so uncomfortable. Well, 1 hour and 46 minutes. I'll be done. I'm going to leave here in a minute, and I should probably tell anything more. What else? Anything more? Yes. Okay. You're a good man with a good heart. I would never say that. In fact, I'm thinking, okay, fine, but you said it, not me. And they need to know that this is real, and I will make sure that they understand that they have a responsibility to let the gods decide who gets moderated, and it's a fact they moderate with the gods, so the gods are moderating. And so it should be not a problem, except to say if there's a Minerva that is thwarting every move, she'll be a god that's trying to actually stop what the gods are doing. So if the gods wanted to help me, Minerva might actually try to thwart this whole thing by making sure that I can't become successful. It's what she did, and she succeeded. She talked the world into that I was bad. Yes, she ruined your reputation, and she ruined your chance to have a life on Earth that was successful. So they're saying she really ruined my ass from ever becoming like a major success. And I could have become a major success because I have the skill, and I actually have Apollo with me, which means that I could do anything in this world. They're telling me ultimately, and I probably still can. I'll bet, because I bet you if God is God, that maybe if I'm half dead and I'm already at to death's door, I still believe that he can do something. And ultimately, this is all I can do is tell Minerva she needs to calm down and be aware that you are upset with everything that is faked and pretended, and sentiments that are false. When you don't understand the sentiments are false, because the behavior of the body language and the character pretends to present a false appearance and displays a false attitude, pretending to support when actually thwarting is the tension. She feels on the spiritual level, she has a feeling that is not mistakable, and she knows something is actually happening that she does not forgive, and she can't figure it out. So she's trying to understand what it is. And it could be a person that's being friendly. You're good without a doubt. Thanks for your messages. Yeah, thank you. And understand that she'll be mad because someone's acting friendly when they're actually got an ulterior motive and hiding it. And then that'll ruin everything, and she'll start attacking people who she thinks has ulterior motives, and we all kind of do, because we're all kind of backwards. And so she's actually not bad. Is to say that if she knew that she's trying to be a goddess, and she needs to know that she is a goddess. She is already. So understand, but she doesn't have a goddess body anymore. She died. She's probably in you if it's her. I'd say, Minerva, understand you've got to take care of them bodies and let them survive. You use them like they're old toilet paper, and so you're being looked at as bad, and ultimately you can respond in anger because you're not bad, and so there's many things you didn't do wrong, and you have a right to be able to win and have your spot and be able to come back, and so I'm saying that maybe you do. I'm acknowledging you, and I'm saying that understand though your anger is like deep enough, and that you're not willing to forgive, and because mostly you don't understand most of what's going on, because you get mad that God talks to you and he won't tell you anything. So God talks to you, Minerva, and you're a goddess, and he won't even tell you what he's saying because you can feel it, but you don't know, you can't hear it, and you think God's totally wrong, that he won't even tell you what's going on, except he talks to your heart, and you're saying that's not even fair. I don't even know what you said, but I felt it. What was it? Well, she's really good at like determining what God said. She can feel a lot. Her feelings are able to, but thing is that because she hates God, and God is, well, who's God? Satan's God. That's what, and the devil is the god of hell. So understand that if Satan's God and then the devil's god of hell, then who is left to make my side hurt? And what's the answer to that? Satan is punishing me for doing what she wants. Yes. Okay, so I would die. Okay, so is this the same thing as what Mike was doing? Great. All right, let me tell you something. This video has gone along for an hour and 53 minutes. I could have done all this in less than an hour, probably in 10 minutes. She wants to keep me doing these videos because Satan's punishing me, because he told me don't do it. And ultimately she's telling me do it. And if you listen to Satan, I'll tell everybody in the world that you listen to Satan, but you wouldn't listen to me. Are you aware of what I just said? She said to me, and this is what Satan's telling me right now, that he's punishing me. for doing these videos. And it's been an hour and 54 minutes. He's been punishing me, and my body's taking hits, damage. I know, I can feel it. But understand, I'm a soldier, man. When in the battlefield, you get hurt. It happens all the time. And so, yeah, I'm not going to say that I don't, not that, no, it's not good. I'm just saying I'm going to be as tough as a soldier. But yeah, I've been doing it. But why? For her. Satan says, I'm punishing you, and I told you not to do it. Okay, why am I doing it then? Because you're listening to her and you won't listen to me. And as long as you're going to listen to her, but you won't listen to me, well, then you're not with me. Okay, now I just know that I'm going to tell her. Well, that's so unfair. That's so unfair that you are doing that to me. You're trying to make me try to do these videos and tell all this stuff because you want to know what I'm. You didn't come to my face and be my friend. I would have told you anything you want. You weren't coming to my face and have a relationship with me and being my friend. You were wanting me to talk and tell videos and get in trouble. And then you said, see, look at him. He's in trouble. Satan's punishing him. Do you know that people would say that man's being punished for doing that video? He shouldn't be doing it. No, Minerva told me to do this video. And she said, if you listen to Satan and stop, I'll tell the whole world that you wouldn't even listen to me. You listen to Satan and they won't even see a video. So if I didn't make it, then I would be told that, yeah, Minerva would tell everybody that he won't even make videos. He's listening to Satan. And you know what they would say? Well, we didn't even see a video from him. I guess he's guilty. So then that's why I'm stubbornly going to do it anyways. Because I'm going to say, well, I'll tell him something and I better tell him something that will expose her. So look, I can't fight her like this. I'm not going to win. I'm going to die if I think I'm going to kill Minerva. She's not going to die. But if she dies in some body she's in, well, then the body of that person will die. I'm not going to fight her. My end result is not to fight her. It's to try and love her. And I'm saying it's hard to love her when she's being so freaking. What am I going to do? Okay, Satan says, get off, stop the video. Okay, great. So he said I could have done it an hour ago when he was telling me, okay, great. I'm going to stop this video because Satan told me to stop it. And Satan said, you just listen to me because I'm punishing you for doing this video because God says that if you stop, you'll be listening to Satan and then she'll tell everybody. Okay, great. Well, then I'll tell everybody first what's going on and tell on her. You just did. Okay, good. So Minerva's going to get busted now for what she just did. I'm not going to say ha-ha. I'm going to say, bye, Minerva. I'm stopping this video now.